Technology transfer offices negotiate highly complex, high-stakes agreements every single day. Over decades, they build an immense reserve of legal precedent and policy intelligence. Yet inside most institutions, those executed contracts, term sheets, and internal guidelines sit unread in local network folders or exist entirely within the memories of veteran licensing officers. When a new, unpatented discovery moves from the lab bench to the licensing desk, that scattered information creates immediate friction. Officers spend critical hours manually reading through past agreements to find an acceptable royalty rate or hunting down the latest institutional stance on indemnification. Relying on individual recall and manual document searches turns a university's most valuable intellectual asset into an administrative bottleneck. PactAlign resolves this exact bottleneck by giving technology transfer offices their own secure, centralized, and highly advanced intelligence platform. Because TTOs handle unpatented science and confidential corporate negotiations, pasting that text into a cloud-based server is a severe risk violation. Public LLM wrappers and standard commercial AI tools inevitably expose sensitive data to external training models. Operating entirely locally, PactAlign's air-gapped architecture reads your existing network drives and transforms that static archive into an active, searchable pipeline. The platform channels this intelligence through 3 distinct daily workflows: generating drafts, reviewing third-party paper, and interrogating historical precedent. By keeping the entire system securely on-premise, TTOs achieve rapid operational velocity without sacrificing absolute control over their data. Translating a negotiated term sheet or a dense email chain into a formal legal agreement requires tedious manual transcription, which routinely introduces formatting errors and missed clauses. The generate workflow bypasses manual data entry entirely by using a deterministic variable extraction engine. This abstract block of text represents highly unstructured data, like an email request or raw term sheet. PactAlign scans the text, isolating specific commercial and legal variables required, pulling out entity names, royalty rates, and milestone dates from the noise. Instead of generating generic prose, the system targets your institution's specific pre-approved templates. The extracted variables are automatically mapped and injected perfectly into the precise fields of those gold standard documents. Licensing officers never have to retype the data or manually search for bracketed placeholders. The exact output is a highly precise, fully formatted agreement. What normally requires an entire hour of careful drafting is completed and ready for counterparty review in seconds. Removing the burden of initial contract assembly frees the licensing staff to focus strictly on complex negotiation strategy. When counterparties return their own legal paper, the operational focus shifts from drafting to defensive auditing. The review workflow evaluates incoming third-party drafts strictly against the institution's established playbook, including the specific university mandates. The system performs an objective structural analysis, calculating the exact directionality of the legal obligations. It identifies specific hidden liabilities, such as an indemnification clause that shifts liability back onto the university, or a reverse reach-through clause where a company claims ownership over future lab data. This dual-pane interface allows immediate evaluation. The left pane highlights potential compliance risks in neutral colors, while the right pane opens the institution's clause dictionary. Clicking on a flagged anomaly instantly halts the review and isolates the specific structural trap. The right pane then displays a curated menu of pre-approved, historically sound fallback clauses specific to that exact legal issue. With a single click, the officer swaps the counterparty's problematic text for the institution's safe replacement language. If a highly favorable term is negotiated during this process, it can be submitted back to a staging queue, updating the central playbook for the rest of the office to use. Once the review is complete, the user triggers the export. PactAlign generates an attorney-grade Word document with flawless track changes redlines, ready for the counterparty. This workflow ensures every licensing officer enforces the exact same gold standard compliance framework, vastly reducing institutional risk without requiring a larger legal team. During live negotiations or rapid portfolio triage, the party with the fastest access to historical data holds a definitive advantage. The chat workflow provides a direct, natural language interface to query the entire library of past institutional agreements. Through this chat interface, an officer types a question into the prompt, and the system routes it directly into the localized historical database. The engine extracts core metadata, surfacing performance milestones, calculating upfront fees, and categorizing risk levels. Moving beyond broad summaries, the interface allows users to interrogate granular, historical precedents. An officer can ask, specifically, what royalty ranges or confidentiality terms were accepted by a partner like Merck during previous deal cycles. The system retrieves a factual, synthesized answer drawn exclusively from the university's own executed contracts. Bringing exact past concessions to the surface eliminates guesswork and prevents counterparties from claiming a term as standard when the university has previously rejected it. Equipping every junior officer with the complete, searchable history of the office turns collective experience into an immediate, everyday negotiating advantage. These three process loops, generate, review, and chat, do not operate as isolated tools. They form an integrated ecosystem where document generation feeds negotiation, and negotiation relies on historical chat retrieval. Every time a finalized contract is signed or a new successful clause is staged from the review pane, that document feeds right back into the central playbook. The localized knowledge base compounds in value over time, becoming sharper, more specific, and more closely aligned with the university's exact commercial goals. Disjointed, manual tasks consolidate into a unified commercialization pipeline that actively supports the entire technology transfer lifecycle. PactAlign delivers a precise combination of processing speed and uncompromising defense. Semantic search and automated drafting accelerate the execution of complex agreements from weeks to minutes, and every operation executes entirely within the boundaries of absolute data security. By deploying on an air-gapped on-premise appliance, unpatented discoveries remain strictly under the control of your institution, completely isolated from public AI models. Institutional knowledge is your most valuable asset. It should function as an everyday operational advantage, not an administrative burden. Click the link below to view a comprehensive demonstration and see exactly how PactAlign operates under the hood.